Hello everyone, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a brand new speed build video. In today's video, we are going to be building a Tudor house in the world of Windenburg, and today's theme or name is Tudor Roomies, and it is a house for a couple or three Sims that are roommates that I imagine are students studying in Brightchester or the other one, Foxbury Institute, and they are living here because I pictured that this lot is the most affordable lot they can live in other than Brightchester. It is a 3-bedroom house, and the style, of course, is a Tudor style home. And I really hope you guys will like this build as much as I did building it. I totally had a lot of fun. Initially, I wanted to do a residential lot for a group of students in Brightchester, but it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. So I decided to build in Windenburg and follow a specific Pinterest picture that I saw. It is very simple, and I thought that it would be a fun idea because also this build is only base game and get together, so that is something new for me. I rarely do limited pack builds, but I decided to try and do a limited pack build for this one, specifically get together, because I don't really use that pack a lot. In fact, it is one of my least favorites. So I decided to try out something new and do a limited pack build. So I really hope you guys will like this one. But if you want to download it, it's already up in the gallery. My ID is simmerkhai. And before I talk further about the build, I just want to announce that I am announcing a shell challenge for celebrating 4,000 followers on Instagram. So I want to thank everyone who follow me on Instagram, and hopefully you guys are able to participate in the shell challenge. Not a shell challenge, it's a room challenge or a dollhouse challenge, but the theme for the dollhouse is crime scene. So basically for that dollhouse you have to decorate it however you want using the tool mod, but no custom content. Of course, you can decorate it as however you want, as long as it fits the theme. And you basically have to create a crime scene for the Plumbob State Police Department is what I came up with. I couldn't really come up with any other names for the police department because I don't know, that just is a challenging thing for me, especially because I don't really play the game to know enough about the names of like community lots or anything like that. I just built in this game, but hopefully you guys are able to come up with something if you enter the challenge. And if you want to find out the further details of the challenge, you can head on to my Instagram, which is at simmerkhai. But anyways, back to this build, you can see that the structure of the house is pretty much already complete. And I will be going forward with the landscaping, and I really like how it turned out in terms of the landscaping as well. It is the first time I'm enjoying landscaping this build in a while. And I really like how it turned out because I did use only get together and base game, so it is a kind of challenging build for me, but in the end I really like how it turned out, how it looks, and it also looks classical, so I really like that. As for the interior, I stuck to Tudor-ish or classical type of furniture in there, so I will be using get together and also base game, obviously. And the inside looks a bit old, but I think it is something different for this channel, so it is something good. Other than that, I'm just putting over the details over here and just decorating it to make it look more detailed. And at first I didn't want to put these things that are for the roofs decorations, but I think in the end I put them because it looked much better and more Tudor type, because if I didn't put that decoration over there, it looks plain and suburban, and I didn't want to give that effect because it is a Tudor home. But over here I am placing some debug items from the get together pack, and I will be changing that to the normal fencing because I couldn't arrange the debug items how I wanted it to. I kind of wanted to like like secure the front part of the build, but it didn't end up that way. So I decided to use the fencing tool instead, and it looked much better like this. Even though I wanted to create some curvatures in the build for the fencing, I couldn't because of the fence. The fence, you have to just drag and place it. It's not like a curved type fence. So I didn't go with a curve like structure, obviously. But I also ended up adding these debug hedge entryways. They are really pretty, and I thought that they gave more of a magical, or like a more um organized, and looks like this house is well taken care of. So I decided to put it in there, and also create like a pathway using the terrain tool paint, and paint it all over. And when I was building this build, I initially thought like I should include everything from the get together pack. So you will be seeing that I also try to place some awnings here over here, but I didn't end up doing so because it looked too like mismatched to me, because I wanted to go for a classical Tudor theme. So I didn't put that awning slash glass thing over there just now. But because the pack also has like modern and traditional elements to it, I think that the awning would look better if it was um, belonging to a more modern build. But this build is specifically like a classical Tudor, so I didn't end up doing that. And then over here I placed some debug items which I use as defenses, quote unquote, of the build, and I really like how it turned out. Initially also I wanted to use the same fence for the front and the back together so that they are more consistent, but I didn't end up doing so because I thought that the bushes that came with the debug menu of the get together looked very well and much better than the normal fencing type. So I decided to place them there, and I don't think it will look good if I were to put it at the front of the build. So yeah, I just went in like for the back part of the build. I used some debug fences, quote unquote, which is the hedges, and for the front it is the normal fencing. But over here we are moving on to the interior, and we are starting off with the living room over here. The living room was quite small. It is overall a small home, but I think I placed the items according to the space very well, even though it's quite small, so there aren't a lot of furniture available in this particular space for the living room, although I imagine that a living room should have plenty of space for more furniture to be fit in, but I didn't end up doing so. So I just put in a couple of Mediterranean, no, it's medieval looking couches from the get together pack, and I think it looks like something that belongs in a church or chapel. Those kind of chairs, like ancient chapels or like very classical ones. And I thought that it looks very nice for this Tudor home, so I decided to use those couches instead of the comfortable looking ones. I wanted to make it look very traditional and very kind of medieval also, so I ended up using the church, let's call them church couches, because I don't know the name of the couches. So anyways, over here is going to be the kitchen of the build, and as you can see, it is a black color scheme. I decided to go with dark colors throughout the whole build and also the furnitures, because it looks more sensible that way, because it is a classical Tudor home. And for the kitchen over here, I was deciding whether or not to put the overhead counter, since if I use a specific overhead, what is that called, stuff, overhood, hood, it looks weird if I put only one in the middle and two separate cupboards next to it. So I decided to just go with the one that is attachable to the wall. But anyways, over here, you saw just now that I am working on the dining room over here, and It's pretty simple. It is also half library, so I decided to put in a bookshelf and also some wall decoration to fill in some spaces, and also a plant in the corner. And overall, I think the main colors that I use are green for the curtains, green for the plants, browns for the wallpapers, and also some very dark colors for the furniture. And I really like the look of it, even though it's not really my style. I think it is good to try something new for this channel, so I decided to play around with some colors that are out of my comfort zone, and also use different furniture that I don't really use typically in all of my builds. So it was a fun experience building this home, and I like how it turned out. And I also put in a fire alarm in there because I've never used that fire alarm before, and I wanted to just, you know, try to see if I can fit in some clutter items and decorations that I don't usually use for this house, and just place them all around. But anyways, the house consists of 3 bedrooms, which I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I think. And only 3 Sims can live in here because it is a small home, and I imagine that they are students or friends. They also study like maybe something related to like philosophy or literature, and so they decided to stay in this house, which is kind of related to it, since a lot of like literature are about the old times, some medieval times, I think. Like Shakespeare. I don't think that is medieval, but you get the idea. But anyways, yeah, they study some classical themed for degree, and also they are really inspired by the medieval times, so they decided to also rent this cute house over here, which is in the style of antique slash medieval. And the clutter and decorations for each of the rooms are pretty much simple because I didn't really want to go crazy with the clutter and decoration. But they also have this cute computer table over here from the get together pack, and it is very simple. I kind of pictured it being a study area for them, so they have to share the computer between the 3 of them, because I initially wanted to put in a study table for each of the rooms, but the space didn't allow me to do so. But I think if you were to like change things around a bit, maybe convert one of the small rooms into a study room, you can fit in more than 1 table for the study room. But we are working on the last part, which is the toilet just now, and then we are heading on to the exterior decorations over here, which I just put in a couple of chairs with a table, and also an umbrella table from the get together pack, which I've never used before, the one that looks like a beach ball for the umbrella. And that's pretty much it for the build. I think I also will be putting a woodworking table so that your Sims have an activity to do. And I really like how I decorated the landscaping for this build, because it really looks nice. But anyways, I think that will be the end of the video. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you want to download this house on the gallery, you can search for my ID, which is simmerkhai. I really hope you guys enjoyed this build, and if you want to comment anything, that would totally be appreciated. And I hope you guys have a good day wherever you are, and have a good weekend or week. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!